have to get what you need. President Tinubu inaugurates lithium ore processing plants to position Nigeria as a key player in the lithium market.
For the first time in the history of our technology, we are becoming partners and partakers in the production value chain.
Prince Harry and Meghan in Nigeria commend Nigerian soldiers' commitments and bravery in fighting terrorism and banditry.
The focus of this trip up here is obviously the wounded, injured and sick men and women who serve the Nigerian forces to keep people safe.
Also on the news, Nigeria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in strategic partnership to boost the agricultural sector.
There are found huge potential for investments in ranching.
A warm welcome to NTA Network News. I am Lami Ali. Reading with me tonight from Lagos is Adeola Komeakere, while Benny Adams is here in the studio in Abuja with the business news. Remember, you can watch this news broadcast live on our social media handles displayed on your screen. Now we begin from the State House, where President Bola Tinubu has warned the legitimate mining industries in Nigeria not to leave their host communities in ruins with their operation, while also emphasizing on corporate social responsibility. The president put out this new advisory when he received the Chinese investors who just inaugurated a lithium processing plant in Nasarawa State at the State House. Our correspondent, Musbah Al-Wahab, brings us the details.
It is an epoch-making day for Nasarawa State, and these are the key players behind the largest lithium processing plant situated in the home of solid minerals. Led by Governor Abdullahi Sule, the team of Chinese investors have come to appreciate the president for the conducive environment encouraged by his administration. The gain of the ease of doing business climate now manifesting in Nigeria is a 4,000 metric tons per day Avatar lithium processing plant in Nasarawa.
Mr. President, we finished the commissioning today. We thank you.
And with the setting up of the plant commenced and completed under a year, the investors say they are ready to inject even more to the tune of $200 million.
After finishing the initial phase, we will steadily dedication to invest the second phase to achieve 300,000 lithium tons concentrate in next few years.
President Tinubu is equally pleased that this group of investors are taking advantage of the opportunity in the country, including the return on investments derivable from the huge markets.
We have only tried you for these battery lithium aspects of process. We've been generous. I don't see why that battery cannot be produced here. The labor is cheaper. You can from here dominate the solar panel market as a revolution in Africa, West African sub-region.
But then, the president was categorical that Nigeria would not compromise standard in the sector, with emphasis on value addition and care for the environment and the communities.
The concern is the environment, the value addition, the community, the corporate responsibility must not leave the community in ruins.
To stem that and to desist and ensure that companies operating in the sector no longer abandon the mines after they must have finished, it is part of our requirements now for licensing fresh applicants. There must be concrete remediation plans that we see that is viable and workable before we even approve any application for mining.
The president is providing the leadership and
described as an example of good partnership between the federal government, state and investors. This lithium processing factory is sited in Kamautu, in Nasarawa local government area. Well, Nigeria has joined the League of Countries on the global map of lithium ore processing as President Bola Tinubu inaugurates one of the best such plants in West Africa. Represented by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, President Tinubu says it will position Nigeria as a key player in the lithium market. Here is the report. Described as an example of good partnership between the federal government, state and investors, this lithium processing factory sited in Kamautu, in Nasarawa local government area of Nasarawa state, is expected to process 1 million tons of raw ore per annum. President Tinubu believes his administration's resolve to leverage on the mining sector will pay off, especially with regards to economic diversification, expanding revenue sources, and improving application of technology in the sector.
The commissioning of the state-of-the-art lithium processing factory, the first in these states, and one of the best in Africa. What does this mean to our people? Lithium is a critical component in the production of batteries for electric commodities. People have been using phones, vehicles, and other appliances powered by lithium batteries as consumers. For the first time in the history of our technology, we are becoming partners and partakers in the production value chain of this mineral.
Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, says ongoing transformation of the sector will open up opportunities.
What Avatar New Energy Materials Company is doing with the commissioning of the lithium battery factory here today is to show us that it is not only possible, it is also profitable. The feedback from our investment promotions and the increasing number of companies seeking to set up some similar lithium battery factories like this in our country are already multiplying, and this is encouraging us to make a case for strong protection of these lithium battery companies from foreign competition.
After this company started this factory at Endo Village, another discovery was made that the company believed that there is more there, that they can build another factory that is actually 6 times the size of this particular factory.
Avatar New Energy Materials Company, established in partnership with Nasarawa State Government, is a subsidiary of the Chinese Jiangyi Group, involved in developing businesses under the Belt and Road Project. Lami Ali. Now, President Bola Tinubu has conferred the second highest national honor of Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger on the Abuja and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetona, for his immense contributions to national development and good governance. The president made the pronouncements at a public lecture to mark the 90th birthday and 64th coronation anniversary of the monarch held at Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ogun State. Lekon Agbonde reports.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, among other dignitaries, were on hand to rejoice with the monarch who clocks 90 and turns 64 years on the throne of his forefathers. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, congratulated the traditional ruler for the milestone age and conferred him the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger for his tremendous contributions to nationhood, and also directed the taking over of Oba Sikiru Adetona School of Governance Studies, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, Ogun State, by the Nigeria Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, Jos.
In times of adversity, Oba Adetona shows strength and kingly character. He stood his ground and confronted injustice and oppression during our just struggle for the restoration of democratic rule in the land between 1993 and 1999.
Baba Kabiyesi is indeed a phenomenon, a monarch like no other. who bestrides the traditional institution like a colossus. His reign has been a monumental success and a pride to the Ijebus.
In a public lecture entitled Changing Nigeria's Governance Narrative, Professor Akinshola Agagu believes that the renewed hope agenda of the federal government offers the needed opportunities for good governance in Nigeria. The high point of the event was the public presentation of a book titled Reinventing Governance in Nigeria, the Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono model. Vice President Shetima, accompanied by other dignitaries, thereafter inaugurated the multi-billion naira ultra-modern building of Oba Sikiru Adetono School of Governance Studies, OOU, Agoiwoye, Ogun State, which was donated by the monarch to celebrate his birthday. In Jebode, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
In a related development, former President Muhammadu Buhari joins the nation in celebrating Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono Awujale of the Ijebu Kingdom as he marks his 90th birthday. Former President Buhari says Oba Adetono has the record of being one of the nation's longest reigning kings, having been on the throne since April 1960. The former president says he is proud of his special relationship with the Oba and his subjects, describing the Awujale as an exemplary king who leads by example and a true statesman. Former President Buhari wishes Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono a longer life in service and good health. Now, the federal government has commenced a strategic partnership with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Ministry towards revamping the Nigeria agricultural sector. This came to the fore as a team of investors from the kingdom engaged government officials in Abuja. Musa Aliu has the story.
This is a delegation from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The team consists of Minister of Agriculture, Water and Environment. They are here for discussion on how to improve the existing trade ties between the two countries, especially in the areas of food production. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, said going by the ongoing reform in the livestock subsector, there is huge potential for investment in ranching, animal breeding, feed and pasture development.
There abound huge potential for investments in ranching, breed improvement, feed and pasture development, as well as value addition, especially in the special agro-industrial processing zones that have been delineated across the country for crops and livestock development.
We believe Nigeria is the country with the biggest absorptive capacity for investment in agriculture, and we want partnership.
So I welcome the Saudi delegation to Nigeria and also thank the government of Saudi Arabia for granting support to Nigeria in the field of human capital development and education as well.
That Nigeria has some comparative advantages and a need, to invest wisely in the agriculture, food sector, whereby we will be targeting the Nigerian market or exporting, to the nearby countries.
The visit is a follow-up to the bilateral engagement between the ministers at the recently concluded Saudi African Summit. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed Nigeria's strategic position in Africa as a bastion of peace, saying the nation will continue to play its role as a stabilizer of the continent. Receiving a letter of credence from the Egyptian ambassador to Nigeria, Mohammed Ahmed, President Tinubu emphasized the shared commitment of both countries to promoting global peace and stability through collaboration within international organizations such as the United Nations. President Tinubu noted that since establishing diplomatic relations in 1961, Nigeria and Egypt have collaborated on key international priorities, including promoting regional peace, security and stability. Acknowledging Egypt's role towards a truce in the crisis in Gaza, President Tinubu said the international community needs to do more to ensure the stability in the region. Ambassador Ahmed conveyed President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's willingness to bolster economic partnership with Nigeria, emphasizing Egypt's interest in increasing trade and investments between the two countries, while also receiving the new High Commissioner of Pakistan to Nigeria, Sohail Ahmed Khan. President Tinubu described the ambassador's military background as invaluable for exchanging ideas to expand security and defense cooperation. He underscores the need for global cooperation in combating terrorism and violent extremism. The High Commissioner of Pakistan noted the demographic similarities between the two countries and expressed a desire to elevate the relationship to new heights. In a separate meeting with Ambassador Athanasios Kotsionis of Greece, President Tinubu reiterated his administration's commitment to an open-door policy that encourages collaboration and progress for the benefit of all. He restated Nigeria's commitment to strengthening bilateral relations with Greece and building bridges of cooperation to address common challenges. Ambassador Kotsionis outlined Greece's efforts to finalize agreements with Nigeria in the areas of tourism, scientific exchange, technology, and maritime. Watching NTA Network News, time now to take our break. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying. Prince Harry has commended the Nigerian soldiers for their commitment and bravery in fighting terrorism and banditry in Nigeria. The prince, while at the Government House Kaduna, promised to support soldiers who sustained injuries on battlefields. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports.
Prince Harry's visit to Kaduna, 68 years after his grandmother's historic visit, Queen Elizabeth II, during the time of the late Premier Sir Ahmadu Bello, stirred a moment of joy and reflection. As a former soldier himself, the prince promised to support the wounded soldiers, appreciating their sacrifices.
The focus of this trip up here is obviously the wounded, injured and sick men and women who serve the Nigerian forces to keep people safe. And we will build on that morale and show that anyone that is caught in the line of fire, that their life, despite injury, is not over.
In sport, you founded the Investors Game, an international sporting competition for injured and sick veterans and service people, which today I'm happy you are also here in Nigeria to continue this very important support.
His commitment offers a sense of hope and assurance to the wounded soldiers who had bravely served their country. As the prince proceeds to 44 Army Reference Hospital to interact with them.
Well, it is a moral support for now. We say it's a moral support for somebody coming all the way from United Kingdom, a prince of the British Empire, for him to come here and commiserate with the people, identify with them. I think it's something big.
In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
In view of the dynamic and complex nature of the nation's security challenges, the Nigerian Army is developing the capacity of its personnel in mastering indigenous languages to better communicate with residents of threatened communities. This is to enhance communication and intelligence gathering, particularly at the grassroots. In a message to a language proficiency course organized by the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tariq Lagbaja, urged military personnel to be proficient in different languages to facilitate intelligence gathering and enhance proactive operations.
Military, particularly the Nigerian Army, and its assistance of the Federation and the FCT, had necessitated the need for actionable intelligence. You can't get intelligence from the blues. You credible one have to come from the locals. They know what is happening. And that is why we are encouraging all army personnel to be able to speak the 3 major languages in Nigeria, so that anywhere they are, they can easily relate.
The Indigenous Languages course is the 15th in the series. Nigeria, United States and other maritime countries have flagged off an international security cooperation to effectively police the Gulf of Guinea and in turn create an enabling environment for economic prosperity for participating nations. Kingsley Amajiri has the story.
May I therefore use this opportunity to restate the commitment of the Nigerian Navy to regional collaboration, which is geared towards ensuring and emplacing a safe and secure common maritime space for economic activities to thrive.
The Gulf of Guinea is an important shipping zone for transporting oil and gas as well as goods and services. The incidence of piracy, which pose security threat for crew and vessels operating in the West African waters, is the rationale for this international security cooperation spearheaded by the U.S. to help improve safety for ships and other legitimate activities.
We try to exemplify the essence of collaboration in maritime security. So for the Nigerian Navy, we are deploying about 8 ships, 2 helicopters, and of course our special boat service, which are involved in special operations.
Maritime nations from Europe, Asia, and Africa are among naval forces in the exercise. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Now, Kogi State government has ordered the indefinite closure of the Confluence University of Science and Technology following the attack and abduction of an undetermined number of students. Correspondent Solomon Aidein has an update on the story.
Launched out an attack, an offensive against those that have breached the peace of this institution.
The bandits stormed the school campus at about 8:23 p.m. Thursday, catching students off guard as they gathered for tutorials in preparation for their upcoming first semester examinations.
We are on top of the situation, and by the special grace of God, we are going to rescue the students within the shortest period.
In response to the crisis, the State Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Femi-Fanwo, stood in solidarity with the grieving parents.
We still have to scrutinize the list that we have right now and ensure that those that are victims are those that we are announcing to be victims. And, you can see that the entire government apparatus of Kogi State is right here now, and that is the direction of the governor. Even if it is just one student, is one citizen of the state, and the state government will not spare anything to ensure that they are rescued.
As investigations continue, authorities are working tirelessly to ensure the safety and security of all students and staff members at the Confluence University of Science and Technology. Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Niger State government has continued to march towards action with the groundbreaking ceremony of the Mina-Bida Road project to enhance accessibility and improve connectivity between the state and other parts of the country. Governor Muhammad Umar Bagu, who was supported by the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, and the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, performed the groundbreaking ceremony of the 84-kilometer dual carriage road project. Husseina Musa has the details.
Niger State, occupying about 10% of Nigeria's total landmass, also has more highways linking parts of the country and neighboring countries than any other state in the country, with most of it in a state of dilapidation. Worried by the dilapidation of all categories of road infrastructure across the state and the need to successfully drive the Governor Muhammad Umar Bagu's administration's agricultural revolution and urban renewal policy to a logical conclusion, necessitated the embarking of inter- and intra-road projects across the state. The construction of the 84 kilometers Mina-Bida dual carriage road project, to be funded by the Islamic Development Bank, assisted by the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development, has other infrastructural features that include street lights, interchange and underpass at both ends of the road.
The Islamic Development Bank and Abu Dhabi funding have provided 100% funding for this project.
This is also an indication of the kind of cooperation that exists between the state governments and the federal government.
It is a plethora of development projects and endeavors I saw littering the state.
our development partners, and all those who have contributed one or the other to ensure that what we are witnessing today actually takes place.
Stakeholders from the affected communities pledge their support to ensure the project is carried out without obstructions. Emina Hussaina Musa, NTA News.
Now, Minister of Transportation Saidu Ahmed Al-Ali says the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is determined to address the lingering issues bedeviling the activities of Nigerian universities. The minister stated this during an inspection visit for the commencement of the 2023-2024 academic session in the newly established University of Transportation in Daura, Katsina State. Usain Suleiman reports.
Your guidance, the Federal University of Transportation has flourished, becoming a center of excellence.
These are students of the institution interacting with the transportation minister and principal officers of the university. The visit by the minister is to inspect facilities put in place towards ensuring conducive learning environment.
The Deputy Managing Director of the CCEC is with us. We have extracted commitment that he is going to fix the university to the national grid, and we find a lasting solution to the water problem. The university had met all the checklists of the TED fund, so it will be enlisted against next year so that we'll have more infrastructure for the university to grow.
The students have already started receiving lectures. Not only started receiving lectures, but they are prepared to start first semester examination of the first session.
The minister, after the inspection, appreciated the university's commitment to ensure the successful takeoff of the pioneer students. Zenred Dingmoon, NTA News.
Yes, that's Zenret Digmum, who took the report of Usaini Suleiman. Now, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has refused the application filed by the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, seeking the court to vacate the arrest warrant issued against him. The former governor, who was supposed to be arraigned before the court on his alleged involvement in corruption-related offences to the tune of over 80 billion naira, but declined to appear in court. Justice Emeka Nwite equally refused to grant the application for the suspension of the trial, pending the outcome of the appeal filed by the former governor through his counsel. Justice Nwite fixed the 13th of June for the arraignment of the former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, after his counsel, Abdul Wahab Mohammed, SAN, promised the court that his client will be available to take his plea. A one-day consultancy service for capacity building, disaster management and emergency response, development training and support service for youth has been organized by the Ministry of Niger Delta Development. The program is aimed at equipping youths in Udu local government area of Delta State. Onyenye Joshua reports. Well, we're still working on that report and it will come to you subsequently. The non-governmental voluntary organization of Al-Basara International Foundation has commissioned a construction project as the permanent site of Makkah Specialist Eye Hospital in Bauchi. Secretary General of the foundation, Dr. Adil Al-Rashid, said the organization's target is geared towards ensuring more accessible and affordable eye care services to the citizenry. Abdullahi Aminu reports.
The Al-Basar International Foundation is a non-governmental voluntary organization working for the prevention of poor vision with particular emphasis on Africa and Asia. With the inauguration of its cornea clinic in Kano, the clinic will offer services like corneal transplant and amniotic membrane transplant, among others. Secretary General of the foundation, Dr. Adil Al-Rashid, noted that the first 5 patients for the corneal surgeries will be operated free of charge. The foundation has concurrently flagged off free eye cataract surgeries and free school screening programs in Kano and Bauchi states.
Problem of vision due to the corneal disease or corneal trauma is high. And the only way to solve this problem is to do this procedure, which is corneal transplant or corneal graft.
We never had a history of corneal transplant until now.
So this hospital has made a mark now. It's a milestone, and they have the connection getting cornea tissue from Sri Lanka for the benefit of our people.
This hospital, Maka Eye Hospital, has been taking care of a lot of patients from all over the northern part of the country, and we are here today with them to commission another department, which is another program called Cornea Program.
It is believed that introducing the services in Nigeria will support government and other stakeholders in making eye health more accessible and affordable, thereby curbing the problem of medical tourism with its attendant consequences on the economy. In Kano, Awol Salisu, NTA News.
More stories on Network News from Adeola in our Lagos studio. It's over to you, Adeola.
Lami. In promoting the ideals of interagency collaboration through stamping out of security threats in the country, the Nigeria Customs Service has handed over 148 pieces of unmanned aerial vehicles known as drones and military hardware to the Nigerian Army. Michael Olaleye reports that the items which were intercepted at the Lagos airport also included close to 1.3 million counterfeited US dollars, which was handed over to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Lagos Airport is a strategic border traversing the African continent, hence target for illegal importation. And the customs here, in fulfilling its constitutional responsibility of keeping surveillance, intercepted these consignments during various operations. Since the gadgets, consisting of 148 drones, 112 military hardwares, bulletproof helmets and vests, could assist in boosting the war against banditry, the command at the Lagos airport handed them over to the 81 Division of the Nigerian Army.
It is allowed to bring in some drones that the capacity is not up to 250 grams, but anyone that is above that should not come in. And when we now wait for them to bring the end user certificate from the National Security Advisor's Office, we wait endlessly and they will never come because they know they cannot acquire the documents. And so they abandon them and we declare them as seizure.
Easily shows that we are working together. And I know by the time we hand over this to our drone experts in the army, they will be able to at least say what it is that it can be used for. Like you have said, that one of the drone can last up to 3 days in the air and can even carry the weapon.
Counterfeited notes of about $1.3 million and 5 cryptocurrency machines were handed over to an assistant commander of the EFCC, Moses Oguzi.
We have our machines that will analyze all of these cryptocurrency machines, and we hope to come out with better results and make our society a better place.
The controller said the Murtala Muhammad International Airport generated a total of 19 billion naira from January to April 2024. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Duffield Prema Food Limited, makers of Indomie instant noodles, have announced commencement of entries for the 16th edition of the Indomie Heroes Awards, organized to celebrate and reward unsung heroes among Nigerian children from age 15 and below. Group Corporate Communications and Events Manager Temitokbe Ashiwaju, who disclosed this during a press briefing held in Lagos, says over 50 Nigerian children have benefited from the awards since inception.
Akachuku, a young boy whose courage knows no bounds, as he rescues his 4-year-old brother.
The first edition of the Indomie Heroes Awards was in 2008. Since then, Indomie instant noodles, through the Indomie Heroes Awards, continues to bring to limelight Nigerian children who have demonstrated remarkable acts of heroism and resilience. Organizers say previous winners have impacted their immediate environment.
The Indomie Heroes Award
the 16th edition. We're asking that Nigerians should send in their stories of different bravery acts that has been done in the past to us. And these are in 3 categories. One is the physical bravery category, and the other one is in the intellectual bravery category, and of course the social bravery category. So avenue of submission, of course, we have different platforms. We can either be submitted to our website, which is the www.dofil.com. We also have a website for the Indomie Heroes Award, which is www.indomieheroesofnigeria.com.
This year, like I said, we are really expecting you people. It's on you people, we're expecting you people to reach more nook and corner of the country so that we will have much better stories. And once we have better stories, of course, the event will get better.
The selection process remains credible as entries will undergo scrutiny by a research team. Dufil Prima Foods Limited, manufacturers of Indomie instant noodles, remains a corporate citizen with unique corporate social responsibility drive. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
It's time for us to take some more messages. When we return, it will be time for Benny Adams to bring us business news.
Good to know you're here. And talking business, trade volume between Africa's 2 largest economies, Nigeria and Egypt, stands at $143 million. President Nigeria-Egypt Business Council Mohamed Yusuf Leri says with the new Egyptian envoy in Nigeria, economic relations between the 2 countries is about to witness new level of activities.
The business between Nigeria and Egypt has always been one-sided because Nigeria is a consumer country and our population double that of Egypt. Now we have found a way of working together. The new ambassador, Ambassador Mohamed Fouad, we discussed all these issues, and now we are going to work with their terms and with our own terms. But the essence is to do business. So we are trying to do that. And the volume of business now, we are trying to improve it.
Now the International Monetary Fund IMF says it welcomes the bold reforms being implemented by the federal government and commends the focus on revenue mobilization, good governance, social safety nets, and upgrading policy frameworks. In its latest Article 4 consultation with Nigeria, the multilateral organization stressed the importance of steadfast, well-sequenced, and well-communicated reforms to restore macroeconomic stability, reduce poverty, and pave the way for faster, inclusive, and resilient growth. The IMF commended the federal government's efforts at taming inflation and restoring market confidence. They also welcomed the removal of foreign exchange market distortions and encouraged the authorities to continue improving the functioning of the FX market, including adopting a well-designed FX intervention framework. The fund believes that mobilizing revenue and prioritizing expenditure, including phasing out costly and regressive energy subsidies, are critical to creating fiscal space for development, spending, and strengthening social protection, while maintaining debt sustainability. And the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has unveiled new rules on issuance and allotment by private companies' securities, declaring that any person who issues or allots securities without its prior approval or violates any provisions of its regulations will be liable to a penalty not less than 10 million naira in the first instance and a further sum of 100,000 naira for every day if the violation continues. This is contained in the proposed new rules by the issuance and allotment of private companies and securities prepared by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The Commission says the rules apply to debt securities issuances by private companies either by way of public offer, private placement, or other methods as may be approved by the SEC. Registered exchanges and platforms which admit debt securities issued by the private companies for trading, price discovery or information repository purposes, registered capital market operators who are parties in issuances and allotment of debt securities of private companies. The SEC stated that a private company may list its securities on a registered securities exchange, adding that such securities must be listed not later than 30 days after completion of allotment. And still on the markets, at the end of last week day of trading on the Nigerian exchange, investors lost 8.34 billion naira as the all-share index declined by 0.02%. A total of 344.3 million shares in 8,497 deals, corresponding to a market value of 7.521 billion naira, were traded. Today's data shows 49% decline in volume and 55% decline in turnover. The current market capitalization is 55.6 trillion naira. United Bank for Africa recorded the highest volume of 90.1 million traded shares, followed by Access Holdings 39.6 million and Zenith Bank 35.1 million. And on the aggregate, 127 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 26 gainers and 26 losers. That is business news. Lami, is over to you.
Many thanks, Baidi. Now, the non-governmental voluntary organization of Al-Basar International Foundation has commissioned a construction project as the permanent site of Makkah Specialist Hospital in Bauchi. Secretary General of the foundation, Dr. Adil Al-Rashid, said the organization's target is geared at ensuring more accessible and affordable eye care services to the citizenry. Abdullahi Aminu has the details.
With the head office in the United Kingdom, an executive office in the United Arab Emirates, the Al-Basra International Foundation is operating in 32 hospitals worldwide, including Nigeria. The foundation laying for the Makkah Specialist Eye Hospital on the piece of land donated by the Bauchi state government is another significant journey in the fight against the leading causes of blindness and low vision.
We are filled with sense of admiration and appreciation for your incredible work.
Medical tourism is coming to an end.
I'm confident that the Makkah Specialist Hospital will become a center of excellence for eye care in Bauchi.
Though the non-governmental voluntary organization of Al-Basar International Foundation is working to prevent blindness worldwide, but its particular interest is on the Africa and Asia.
We hope, inshallah, this hospital will serve the community and population of the people of the Bauchi and the surrounding areas.
We found that more work is needed for the eye care, so we decided to make this hospital which will serve the needy, and it will have with it all specialties of the eye, and we hope within 2 years this is going to be finished and start working.
Establishment of the free specialized eye hospitals, provision of mobile eye camps and training institutes are the processes in which the Al-Basar International Foundation is conducting its free eye surgery. In Bauchi, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Network News continues after this commercial break. Do stay tuned. And that closes the chapter on Network News for today. Thank you for being a part of it. Do have a wonderful weekend.